guys, and welcome to a super simple beginner style tutorial on how to make a hexagon cardigan. I know I don't have this big fancy setup. All I have is this thrifted blanket on the floor. You're going to need a scissors, your hook. I have a size 5.25 hook. You're gonna of course need yarn, and you'll need a tapestry needle. For this cardigan, I'm going to be using 4 different colors. So you can use as many colors or as few colors as you want. You can make it one color, you can make it every single row a different color. I'm making it more of a green, brown, earthy type foresty vibe. These are the 4 different colors that I'm using. They are all acrylic yarn, 100% acrylic is what I'm using today. And I got some of them from Hobby Lobby, and then I got these from Walmart. I've already made one of the sides of the cardigan. You're gonna need to have 2 of the sides, so we're making the second one right now. It's this wonky, 6-sided piece, and it is going to be folded. And once you fold it, you can see that it looks like half of a cardigan. This is the sleeve and this is half of the body. For this pattern, you just need some beginner knowledge of crochet, like how to do a magic circle, a slip stitch, double crochet, a chain, etc. But I'm going to actually show you how to do all of that, so don't worry about it. So let's start the cardigan. We're going to first actually start with our magic circle, and I'll show you how I do mine. So basically I have the long end of the yarn on this side, the short end on this side, and I take the long end, wrap it around my 3 fingers like an X. So the short end is over here, long end over here. And I'm just gonna take my yarn, tuck it under this one, grab this one, and pull it over like that. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Under, over, pull the yarn like that. And now after that, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're gonna put 2 double crochets right next to the chain 3 that we just did. I did one of my double crochets just to show you guys what it looks like. And now I'm gonna show you how to do the second one. So you're just going to yarn over, put your hook through the magic circle, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is how you do a double crochet. And now that you have your chain 3 and your 2 double crochets, you're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to put 3 more double crochets into the magic circle. So now we have 3 more double crochets. We're going to chain 3 again. And then we're going to put 3 more double crochets down. And now you're going to keep repeating this until you have 6 clusters. Now I have my 6 clusters. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now I'm just going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain in your first chain 3 that we did. So the chain 3 right here. A slip stitch is basically you just insert your hook through the stitch, and then we're just going to grab the yarn, pull through that, and then we're going to pull through that loop as well. And that is a slip stitch. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of a little bit wonky, so we're going to take the tail of our magic circle and just pull it to tighten. And now we have the beginning of our hexagon cardigan. Now we're going to move on to row 2. So we're going to again chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We have our chain 3, and we're going to work into this space right here. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into this space. And then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in the same exact space, you can move over your double crochets a little bit, you're going to put 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we're going to go into our next hole. We don't chain anything, we just go directly to the next hole, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets into that same hole. You're going to do the same thing across each one. You're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, then you're going to move on to the next one, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all the way around. I stopped at the last cluster because it's going to be a little bit different than the rest. At first it's the same, so we're just going to do 3 double crochets into this last cluster, and then we're going to chain 3, but instead of putting 3 double crochets into this cluster, we're going to put now 2. So 1 and 2, okay? So now we have this chain 3 that we did, and that's going to act as our 3rd double crochet in this cluster. The 3rd chain of the chain 3, like we did the last time, so just poke your hook through the yarn, grab the yarn and pull through both loops, and now you have your 2nd row completed. I'm starting on my next color, so I'm going to grab my scissors and cut my yarn. My next color is brown, and we're going to do 2 rows of the brown like we did 2 rows of this fun green color. So how I don't know if this is like the right way to do it, but this is the way that I add a new color in. I have my old piece here, and I'm going to take the new yarn, drape it over the hook like this. So the small piece is going this way, long piece is going this way. And then I just pull the new yarn through the old yarn. I'm just going to knot these 2 together fairly tightly, but not extremely tight. And then I'm going to knot it again one more time. So I just double knot the yarn in. And that is how I add a new color to my project. Now we are on row 3. So we are going to again chain 1, 2, 3 like usual. And then as you can see, we have one of these side spaces. Now we have side spaces instead of just the corners. And in the side spaces, we are just going to put 3 double crochets. But in this instance, we have a chain 3 that is acting as one of our double crochets. So we're only going to put in this space right here. We're going to put in 2 double crochets because that chain 3 acts as our 3rd. So now we have our first side, and now that we are at a corner, we're going to do what we have been doing with the 3 double crochets, okay, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets into that same cluster to make a corner. And now we're at a side, so we're just going to put 3 double crochets into the side. And now we're at a corner again, so we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing for all of the corners. The 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the same cluster. We're at a side again, so 3 double crochets, and then we're just going to keep continuing this all the way around. Now I've done that all the way around, and now we're going to again just slip stitch into the 3rd chain of this chain 3 that we did in the beginning. Now we're going to again start our row how we always do with a chain 3. But now as you can see, it's a little bit different than last time. We're not going to put 2 double crochets into the same hole here because we don't have any space to go. If you have your chain 3 on like the furthest side of the double crochet cluster and you have no space to put your 2 double crochets, you're going to go on to the next one. So we're going to put our 3 double crochets into the next cluster because we don't have any space in the current cluster because it's so close to the one right here. So we're just going to move on. This is going to happen every other time in this pattern. I'll show you what I mean as we go on, but basically we're just going to do the same thing in the corner spaces. We're going to put our 3 double crochets and chain 3 double crochets. And then once we're done with that, in our side spaces, we're just, again, going to put in only 3 double crochets. Now we have 2 side spaces. It's going to just keep getting larger, going directly to the next one without chaining anything. So now in our next corner space, we're going to do like we always do. So keep doing that down the line, and I'll show you what to do at the end. Now we are finished with that last corner space. So now we have arrived at that awkward chain 3. So now we have our space right here, our last cluster. So in that last side cluster, what you're going to do is put 2 double crochets and then we're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of chain 3 because that's going to act as our 3rd double crochet in this cluster. And now it looks perfect. Now I'm going to add in my next color. Now we have our new yarn, and I'm going to bring it in like I did the last time. Make sure you pull the old yarn so it's pretty tight on the hook. So now we chain 3. Now for this one, as you can tell, we have space to put our 2 double crochets on like last time when the chain 3 was like right here and we didn't have any space. So now you can see we have the space, so we're going to put our 2 double crochets because that chain 3 acts as the 3rd. So now we have our 3 double crochets, and this kind of flip-flops every single row. So the next row is going to be the one that we previously did, and it's the next one is going to be this one. So it kind of just switches off between rows. Now it's going to be the same thing every single row pretty much, with going all the way around with the 3 double crochets on the sides, and then every corner gets 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. We're just going to go through a couple more rows together. So we have 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 more double crochets, and then the side spaces, of course, just get the 3 double crochets. Now you can definitely see it a little bit better now that we have more of them, more of the side to see, but now as you can see we have on the side spaces all of the 3 double crochets, and in the corner cluster we have 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and that is literally what is going to be happening throughout the entirety of the cardigan. The ending cluster is the only thing that changes back and forth in between every single row. I'm just going to finish this row and I'll see you in a second. Now we've reached our final cluster, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets into it because it's just one of the normal clusters. And then I'm going to slip stitch, like always, into the top of that chain 3. There we go. And now that we're going to be doing 2 rows again of the white, I'm just going to chain 3 again for the next row. And now, as you can see, it's the same thing as the previous time before this last one. We have no space to put our 2 double crochets because it's on the furthest side of this cluster. So now we're going to move on to the next cluster and put 3 double crochets into it. And then in that final cluster, of course, we're going to put 2 double crochets and slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the chain 3. I'm going to see you at the end of this row. Now I have reached the end of this row where we have our little chain 3 hanging out. So we're going to put our 2 double crochets right next to it, and then we're going to slip stitch. Next color, we have this really pretty green. So now we're on row 7, and you'll see that your piece is starting to get a little wonky looking, and that's totally okay, that's normal. And you are going to chain 3 like usual. And now, since the last time we had the wonky one, we're not going to have the wonky one this time. So we're just going to put 2 double crochets into our same cluster here. And then continue down the line with 3 double crochets in each side cluster. And we've reached a corner, so we know what to do. 3 double crochets, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets again. Now we're on our sides, and then we're going to continue our usual pattern all the way down to complete our row 7. Now we're just going to slip stitch. Perfect. Okay, so now we're only doing, well, I'm only doing 1 row of every color now. So I'm just going to cut off the green. And now we are back to our original first color green. Chain 3. Now it's at the furthest, so we just move on to the next cluster. So this is row 8, and we're just going to do the same thing that we've been doing all the way around. Now again, 2 double crochets and slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Now we have officially completed row 8, and now we're on to row 9. I'm going to grab my brown yarn and attach that. Chain 3, 2 double crochets right next to it, and 3 double crochets all down the sides. Now we've reached our first corner, and you know what to do. Just finishing up the last cluster of this row, and now we're slip stitching again. So let's just do row 10 together. 1, 2, 3. It's at the furthest, so what are we going to do? Go into the next cluster. And then same thing throughout the whole entire pattern. 3 double crochets all along the sides. Then we reach our corner space, and of course we put our 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and that is what it is throughout the entire pattern. It doesn't change other than at the end and the beginning. So we've just completed row 10, and I think you guys are pretty much set to go in completing the hexagon. One more time, it is 3 double crochets all along the side, no chains, just continuing with 3 double crochets all down the side, 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets in each corner. Now we go again to 3 double crochets until we get to the next corner, and that is how it goes for the entire thing. The only thing that, of course, as you know, changes is this final slip stitch into the end, which now I think we've gone through it, that you guys are kind of used to the back and forth way that this pattern begins and ends. But for my daughter's, I'm going to show you guys hers. This is how big I made hers. I believe I did 14 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I did 14 rows for my daughter. She's going to be 3. And I have to just make the other side of hers. You can stop at any point for your own. I just counted them and I did 24 rows. I like mine oversized. You can make yours whatever size you want, but I like mine oversized. So now I'm just gonna finish my cardigan until it reaches 24 rows. I'm gonna finish the other half of my daughter's until it reaches about 14. And then once I'm done with each piece, we can go ahead and assemble them. So I'll see you guys in a little bit for assembly. I am back, guys. I just finished the other half of my daughter Millie's cardigan, so I'm going to actually show you on hers how to put the two together. I think it'll be easier to show you on Millie's because it is smaller. Here we have the cardigan. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's the first time me seeing it together. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Okay, so there we have the cardigan laying out and what it's going to look like. So now we need our tapestry needle for this part. Let's start with this one. I'm going to grab my yarn here, my same color yarn, and I'm going to cut a few feet of it. So now I put my yarn through my tapestry needle like that. So now we have this side of the cardigan. I'm going to match up the holes together, pull it through those two matched up corner holes, and I'm going to tie a knot. Okay, so now I have my knot. And I think that the trickiest part of this is lining up all of the stitches, making sure that they are all lined up together, because you want to make sure that it's not all wonky. So what helps with that is using your double crochets for reference, that they're all lined up. So we're going to just pick a couple holes in here, pick these two first. So now we're starting with our first double crochets. You can see the two V's at the top. We're just going to match those up and insert our tapestry needle through those like that. Now we see our next stitch, next double crochet. Insert your tapestry needle through there. Next double crochet. And as you're going along, make sure that you're nice and lined up. So basically we're just going in and out of every single stitch, making sure every single one is matched up perfectly on the cardigan. As you can see, all of the holes are perfectly matched up so far. Now I'm nearing the end. As you can see, they're all nicely lined up. So now we just put it through that final one. Okay, so now I grab my other piece, but now with this piece, I'm going to take it and I'm going to turn it inside out like that. So now this is what it's going to look like in the front. I still have to weave in all of these ends. I completely forgot about it. Ideally, I would have done that first. This is going to be the outside side of our cardigan and what it looks like. So I'm just going to thread my tapestry needle back on. I'm just going to go back and forth a couple times here just to make sure it's nice and secure. Now I'm going to put these two together like this. So now we're going to connect the two pieces from the back and just sew it in and out. And you're just going to insert your tapestry needle through the tops of both double crochets in the cluster. And then I like to go back and forth a couple times through the same stitches just to make sure that it's really solid. Okay, I've gone back and forth a lot, so now I think it's pretty good, and I'm going to just cut the yarn. We have this arm done, and this one we still have to do, but we're not going to do it just like this because we don't want this inner seam, that inner seam on the outside. So we're going to flip it inside out. And now it's flipped inside out. As you can see, the seam is right here. So now we're going to grab our yarn again and get about a couple feet this time, not as much as last time. And we're going to attach it to our tapestry needle. And then same thing as last time, Match up those two corners, tie a nice tight knot. We're doing the same thing that we did on the other side. We're just matching up our double crochets, and we're just inserting our tapestry needle on through and going back and forth, matching it up. So we're all nicely lined up so far. Now I'm at the end, and I'm just going to go back and forth a couple times to make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm just going back and forth on the back part just to make sure that the back is nice and secure as well. I'm just gonna weave in these pesky ends and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the finished cardigan for little Millie for her birthday. Isn't this cute, you guys? Oh my gosh. It's a really beautiful beginner style cardigan. Honestly, I was very much a beginner when I made my first cardigan like this, and it was very simple for me. And I hope this tutorial was very simple and easy for you to understand. If you have any questions, feel free to comment it down below and I can try to help you out with whatever questions that you have. I'm going to finish up mine and then I'll show you guys when it's all done, and I'll show you Millie's when it's on and mine when it's on, just so you guys can see it. But yeah, isn't this just so cute? I love it. It turned out really, really nice. And here at the back looks like that. You can't see the seam because the seam is on this side, and it just turned out so cute. I am so in love with it. If you guys make one of these, please tag me. I so badly want to see you guys in these cardigans. Thank you guys so much for watching this beginner crochet tutorial. If you have any other ideas of things that you would like to see me crochet and make a tutorial on, just feel free to comment it down below, and have a wonderful day. Bye guys.